All right, what's up guys? Matt Frazier, Radiant Plumbing here, and we're gonna take you through a normal basic kitchen stoppage with a snake today. I don't know who knows how to use one, but we're gonna go over it today, okay? I put on some latex gloves to keep a little bit of sanitation in my life here. We have our K400 rigid sewer machine. One of the things you need to do before even coming to the customer's home is making sure that that snake is nice and oiled. That way we can avoid any possible kinks while doing our job here, okay? Another thing to remember is we do have the foot pedal for the snake. You gotta make sure that's interactive, and then we need to make sure that we have good electricity to the cable machine, okay? So we're gonna find our plug here, and if you need an extension cord, go ahead and do so. All right, this light indicates that we're good to go. We'll do a test real quick to make sure that it is active, and we are rolling. All right. I put this mat down here, if y'all can see that. We wanna make sure that we keep as sanitary as possible without scratching a customer's floor. That's the number one thing to make sure we give 5-star service here, okay? Next, you're gonna wanna go under the sink. If there is anything under there, please remove that to make sure that we have a clear use space. And then we're gonna go ahead and get our flashlight out to make sure that we have nice vision the entire way. What I like to do is point it up and get a nice reflection off the brown top underneath the sink, okay? The next thing you wanna do is when you're kneeling down, as you get older, you wanna protect those knees, all right? So you can get a yoga mat or some good knee pads from Home Depot or wherever your needs are. Next thing you know, we're gonna need a bucket. You can get a pan if you're a homeowner, or any type of Tupperware, just to make sure that we hold enough water to catch this P-trap water for a stoppage, okay? If the sink is still backed up, you're gonna wanna siphon that water out into a 5-gallon bucket and dump it outside before pulling apart that P-trap, or else it will dump out on you, all right? Next thing you know, we're gonna start with the one that's connected to the dirty arm first. This pipe right here is referred to as the dirty arm. You're gonna wanna undo that one first, because that's gonna get the water alleviated first, all right? Then you're gonna wanna hold it underneath to keep pressure and undo the other nut. And then swivel it down until it fully comes out, and then dump it out. We still wanna make sure we stay nice and clean in our work area. So we're gonna wanna get our paper towels going and just set it off to the side. To get a little bit more room, we're gonna go ahead and take the dirty arm off here and unscrew that. All right, dump that out real quick and set that off to the side as well, along with the rest of the tailpiece up top. From here, we can see our access point. We know we're covered. We want to still stay a little more sanitary and keep the customer's home as clean as possible. So what we're gonna do is add a little bit more coverage just in case, because you can never be too clean. All right, once that's set up, we're gonna go ahead and set the snake up in the position that works best for us. Okay, we're gonna wheel this around here. Like I said, we're gonna make sure we don't scratch the customer's floor, so stay on those wheels. If you are inside, we wanna make sure we keep some shoe covers on the wheels together as well. So we're gonna set this up for success. All right, and then we're gonna make sure our foot pedals where we need to be so it's nice and comfortable. From here, we're gonna want to grab, these are referred to as ugly gloves, or you can use leather gloves as long as they're durable enough that the snake cable won't rip into them, okay? We use these for finger and hand protection because even though this cable doesn't look like much, it will take off a finger, it will take off a hand. We wanna be as safe as possible. Our snake comes with an assortment of heads, as you can see here. This is the retriever bit. I call this a spade bit, and we call this a seat cutter. Depending on what your job entails, you're gonna wanna choose the best one for the course of action. Some of your snakes also might come with one of these that's sitting right here. It's called a feeder. All right, forward and backward, easy use. That way you don't have to use as much muscle to get it in there, okay? Because it makes you stay a little bit safer. All right, next thing is to get to work. You go in here as far as you can, and then once you reach a stopping point is when you need to set up the foot pedal. From there, we just go to work. Feeding nice and easily. You don't want to force too much, okay? If you're feeling a little kickback, let the machine do the work for you. That's what it's there for, all right? The sound that you're hearing with the tut sound is the one you want to hear. It means there's nothing in the line and you're smooth sailing. So yeah, now I found a small backup. You're starting to hear some resistance, okay? Let it work itself out and then keep pushing forward. And then once you're done, you can keep pushing forward, okay? Now, when you come back, you want to leave the pedal off. That way you can actually get everything out of there, okay? I like to usually grab a couple of rags and clean off any of the debris that's left in the kitchen line, because the kitchen line is the most used drain in the house, surprisingly. And it is the dirtiest. So as we're pulling back, we're staying nice and clean. Keeping it above the bucket. That way, in case anything does come out, it'll come in our tray instead of the customer's cabinetry. As you can tell, we have a little bit of debris built up in the line there, but it seems like we are flowing, okay? Once we come back out, pull this. All right, looks like we got some stuff here. Now remember, we want to stay nice and clean, so take it easy, pull it out. All right, we got some debris on the line, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna cover this up, wrap it, and make sure it's nice and tight. That way we don't get anything in the customer's home. From there, we just put everything back together. That way we can test it. Most homes nowadays have a clean out underneath, so you won't have to go through this tailpiece here. But unfortunately, right now at the office, we don't have one. All right. So before you screw these super tight on, we want to make sure our P-trap lines up. All right, and then you always want to screw the one we took off first. You want to screw that one back on first as well to make sure that we are aligned. Okay, we are aligned there. We're going to go ahead and screw the top one on. All right, check the one you already did and the tailpiece. And voila, next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna test it out. Another way to make sure you got everything, make sure you check for leaks, for one, okay? Clean up anything you might have gotten dirty. While testing, keep an eye on the sink. Everything seems to be flowing. Pull our bucket out. And then the new PVC tubulars will actually be see-through, majority, so we actually see the water coming down the drain line. All right, if you see anything coming up this way, it'll tell you you're clogged up. So we run that for a few minutes, and then besides doing that, what we want to do is plug it up correctly, and then that'll start to fill the sink up. And then you want to fill the sink all the way up and then dump it about 3 to 4 to 5 times to ensure that you got the stoppage clear. And that'll wrap up. You'll clean everything up. Your customer will be grateful and you can have a good day.